Hello folks, welcome to this video. It's International Women's Day today, it's the 8th of March, so I figured let's talk about that for a couple of minutes. I do it every year. I know it's ironic that I, a man, choosing to sit down and talk about women for a few minutes, but let's look at how the world of motorsport is looking at the moment, shall we? And a good point to start off with is the In Her Corner, which was today, the Australian Grand Prix, turn 6, was named In Her Corner. And it was dedicated to Laura Miller and Hannah Schmitz. Laura Miller is the race engineer for Esteban Ocon. Hannah Schmitz is one of the strategy leads at Red Bull and has been on the F1 podium. She was credited with a couple of Verstappen's wins in recent years. And the BBC's done an article about it where they point out that this is the first time that something like this has happened. I mean, corners named after people is quite common, but for women in motorsport is incredibly uncommon. It's certainly the first I can think of. There may be some more at a club level, but definitely when it comes to F1 circuits, I can't really think of any corners. Which in itself is quite telling, isn't it? I mean, we do have different corners that are named after people, but yeah, even if you don't necessarily think of corner names, that is kind of a big deal. Be nice to see more, especially when you think about how many legendary women there are in motorsport, right? Like you could have corners named after, say, Michelle Mouton or Fabrizio Pons, or could have something to do with the storied career of Ilka Minor in the WRC as well, or Jutta Kleinschmidt in Dakar. And let's talk about rally briefly as well, because rally has often been the scene where you see this emerge a lot more. The Iron Dames competed in the WRC last year with Sarah Umo in a partnership with Saracen Motorsport. Leah Block has returned to the world of rallying after a couple of years doing F1 Academy, where she picked up a win last year. What was it, Singapore? And very nearly won the Snowdrift Rally in the American Rally Association, but was disqualified because timing belt went, she got pushed across the line, and that was seen as outside assistance. But yeah, the people that I mentioned, the likes of, say, Fabrizio Pons and Ilka Minor, have been co-driving in the WRC in the past 12 months. Fabrizio Pons did the Dakar again this year, I think in the Classics category. And even within rally, you had Sarah Price competing, Christina Gutierrez competing, Daniela Kiel ends up picking up stage wins as well. So the world of point-to-point racing is often one where you see women reaching the highest of highs. And that did continue when it comes to motorsport over the past 12 months and the state of motorsport and how accepting it is for women in terms of the front-facing roles. In addition to that, in terms of competition, you could see Jamie Chadwick with EDEX Sport in the European Le Mans Series, class win and overall wins as well. Dorian Pan is going to be graduating to the ELMS this year with Duquesne, and she has been she won quite comfortably in F1 Academy last year, and she's worked with Mercedes quite a bit before as well. When it comes to teams, well, the Iron Dames are often seen as the outfit for promoting women in motorsport, and unfortunately they're scaling back for 2026. Now, that is supposedly due to wider things involving the outfits like Prema and Iron Lynx, but they're saying that they will continue to be a global movement in a way, so their graduates and people who've raced for them will be here, there, and everywhere. They did quite well in WEC last year. What was it, 4th place in Sao Paulo? But yeah, it is a shame to see an outfit like Iron Dames sort of fading back in that kind of way. That said, at the same time, there are more places now for women in motorsport than ever before. There are more teams that you can see celebrating women in motorsport, especially for International Women's Day. I'm not saying that means that we've ended sexism or anything like that. My God, we haven't. But in some ways, this world is looking like a slightly better place. I mean, I think about in terms of organisational stuff. I know Michelle Mouton retired as the safety delegate in the WRC, but Pernilla Solberg is gaining more and more prominence in terms of FIA significance as well. But I do have to say this. It is still something that we as society need to continue to be better and do better at. I mean, this isn't motorsport, and I know this is primarily a motorsports channel. I don't tend to follow the Olympics, but my gosh, some of the things that people were saying during the Olympics were absolutely awful. Some of the poor athletes who were just getting horrific comments for the way they present, for this or that or the other, just because they compete at a top level in their sport. And it's just atrocious. It's really hard to say because, I mean, obviously it's not a lived experience that I'm going to be able to refer to at all, apart from occasionally being misgendered around the pub or something like that because I have long hair. But it's one of those places where you still have to speak up more often. You still have to make yourself more visible because the world still treats you as invisible in a lot of situations in motorsport. It's no surprise that this subsection of sport, which sport in itself is often centered around middle and upper class white men, that it's trickier for anybody who doesn't fit that kind of profile to get a foot in the door. I'm not saying that we're going backwards per se. I think we are going forwards. But I do look at these things. I look at especially the public examples, those poor athletes in the Olympics who were medalists. I see one who ends up in every article that she's referred to through her boyfriend, who's one of the Paul brothers. Or, yeah, people just talking about appearance or nationality. It's tough. There are even more hurdles that are just absolute wildcards that we didn't expect. Like the harassment of women on social media through the use of AI, particularly the engine Grok on the website formerly known as Twitter. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. So, on a day that kick-started the Russian Revolution in 1917, and a day that we can continue to celebrate the progress for women in the world in every aspect, it's great to sit down and talk on International Women's Day. But at the same time, we need to admit that we as a community, as a society, still need to do better. We still need to be better and do better, and we need to actively do that. Because when you're raised in a world that is either softly or sternly patriarchal or misogynistic or even like quietly sexist, we need to be aware of that. Keep being better and doing better. Use today as a springboard to do that. Celebrate progress and achievement, yes. And help to elevate women in any scene that you're in into places of more visibility. But it shouldn't just be one day. It should be every single achievement, every single opportunity. It's just nice to have a day to sit down and take stock, right? Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. Until next time, as always, bye for now.